However, let's go to the fan hotline and welcome in Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland Plain Dealer, Cleveland.com, at Mary Kay Cabot on X, formerly Twitter. Hello, Mary Kay.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
We're doing well. Is Sunday make or break for Shedeur Sanders?
No, not at all. I really do not believe that. I think it's a great, great opportunity for him to go out there and build on what he did versus the Ravens and have an opportunity to maybe get another start after that. But I don't think it's make or break by any stretch of the imagination.
So if he goes out there and he doesn't play very well or the offense struggles, like they've been say he has a Dylan Gabriel game. Dylan Gabriel hasn't been very great. Does he get the start next week against San Francisco?
It depends on a couple of things. First of all, has Dylan Gabriel been cleared from the concussion protocol? Once that happens, then the Browns have to decide, is it time to go back to Dylan and let him finish what he started? And I know they wanted to see him for a few more games. Or is it time to see if Shedeur can build again on what he did? And if he has a Dylan-like game and improves on the Ravens game, then I personally think that he would deserve to keep that going a little bit and start another game or another couple of games and let him have his string. I don't think that means that you can't go back to Dylan at some point, because I still think that you need to see some things from him, especially with Tommy Rees calling the plays.
Mary Kay, I gotta be honest, I think I'm finished with what Dylan started. I don't really need to see a lot more of that. You're right, though. If Shedeur plays similar to Dylan, what is the point of going back to Dylan now? We've seen, how many games of Dylan. Let's get some games on the resume for Shedeur at this point.
Well, there are still 7 games left, and the reason why I would not be opposed to going back and seeing more of Dylan Gabriel is because people are way too quick to write off rookie quarterbacks. It takes time, it takes development, and it also takes a supporting cast. And if you're having offensive line problems, which the Browns have had, if you're having receiver problems, which the Browns have had, it's very hard for a young rookie quarterback to go in there and solve all of the problems of an offense by himself, or not by himself, but without the supporting cast or the help that he needs. So I think people are way too quick to do that. I think Dylan was coming up the learning curve and doing some better things. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more of him because I like some of the things that he was doing with Tommy calling those plays. Having said that, I do think that you need to play it out with Shedeur a little bit. If he has some momentum and he is flourishing in Tommy's scheme that they're going to devise for him this weekend, then I would give him a chance to build some continuity and some confidence and keep it going for a while.
What was up with Jerry Jeudy yesterday?
It's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that question, but I like to give a player the benefit of the doubt, and until I know why he does something out of character, then I don't think that I don't appreciate, or I don't think it's right for people to bury a player when we don't know what the issue is. And we have no idea why he went up there and didn't feel like talking. I will say this, though, the reporters and the team and everyone, if you don't feel like talking that day at the podium and you don't have it for whatever reason and you want to switch to another day, nobody would fault a player for that. If you just have something going on, in your mind or your life or in your schedule, and you just don't want to be up there in that moment and you're not going to be able to answer questions, it's perfectly fine to say, hey, you know what, let me switch with someone. I'll go up there tomorrow.
Well, I had said to Lyman, Lyman even said back, it's like, well, I don't know if he got pulled over on the way to the facility or something like that, and he was upset about that. It's like, you could speak on another day, but now that he's spoken, it's like, man, you need some positivity as you get ready with this rookie quarterback. There's a lot of things that I think are stacked against them as a football team, and their offense and the Shedeur in general. It's like, man, you're the number one wide receiver. We need some positivity out of you to get going with this, because I already don't have a great feeling, and I can't help it. When I saw that audio yesterday, when I saw you guys talking to him, I felt a bit worse.
Well, I'm sure that Jerry Jeudy didn't step up there and think, oh, geez, I think I'm going to ruin Shedeur's big moment here. He must have had something going on. Jerry is really great about getting up there. Many guys don't even talk to us during the week, but Jerry's really good after games. I think there was only one game this year where he was kind of upset and didn't talk, but for the most part, he's really good after games. He's a great quote. He's accommodating. He's approachable. And so, like I said, I like to give a player the benefit of the doubt, and until I know why he did something like that, then I'm not going to pass judgment on it, because I really highly doubt that Jerry was trying to ruin Shedeur's big day.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us right now on the hotline. One of the storylines I'm fascinated with this week is how Tommy Rees and Kevin Stefanski operate this offense with Shedeur, because there's like a risk-reward, to me, a debate that could be had. Like Dylan, we know what the offense kind of looked like. He wasn't making a ton of the really bad mistakes that can truly kill you. While Shedeur, he might make those mistakes, but will they allow him to if it means they can stretch the field, go vertical, and maybe incorporate some new dynamics into the offense?
Well, the thing with Shedeur Sanders is that he is going to need a tweaked or a different game plan than what Dylan had. He's not as mobile as Dylan. And while you can roll him out and run the boots and stuff like that, you're not going to have as much quarterback movement in the game plan. As you mentioned, you might have some more deeper shots in the game plan, but you also have to have time to throw those. And the Raiders, even though they don't have a great defense, they do some things well. They're going to blitz him, and they also stop the run pretty well. They're second in the NFL in average yards allowed in the running game. So, that can make it difficult to get your passing game going. So I do think that you're going to see perhaps maybe a little bit of a pared down playbook. I don't think he's going to have as much at his disposal as Dylan did, because as we have been told since day one, Shedeur has been coming up the learning curve. He had further to go in terms of running a pro-style offense. And now we know, and I think it's so interesting, that Kevin spends a lot of time with him one-on-one in his office, going over his tape from the day before, talking defenses, talking, just how he saw things and whatnot. And for all the people that think the Browns are sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, which has always been a preposterous notion, they have spent so much extra time with this young man, and they've altered their entire practice schedule during the week to make sure that he is being developed thoughtfully, deliberately, and adequately. So he's coming up that learning curve, but he's not there yet. And so they're going to have to dial it back a little bit for him, but they will give him plenty of things to do that he feels really comfortable with.
But that is great that you said that, Mary Kay, because I feel like, especially the national media,
Lima says Cam Newton deserves to, or has to.
Well, I think he should apologize.
An apology to Kevin.
I mean, he was operating under the assumption that Kevin doesn't like him, doesn't work with him, that he's a complete afterthought. And you're in the building. The only thing I wish Kevin would have been a little more forthright about all that stuff, just so that people would not speculate things like that. I mean, they're analyzing his face on draft night and the body language, over on the sidelines. Like, Kevin could have avoided all of that had he had just been a little more specific about the plan for Shedeur this year.
Well, I mean, I think he has tried to say, hey, we're bringing him along and we're doing all those things. He just hasn't been super specific about it. And the only reason that we know that Shedeur is going in there early mornings and he's in Kevin's office with him is because Myles Garrett revealed that. And so I did follow up and ask Kevin about it yesterday, and then he was willing to say that, yes, that does happen. But he's not one to pat himself on the back, and that's just not who he is. And he's going to give us the bare minimum amount of information. And the good thing that happens out there in Berea is the fact that his coordinators and his assistants are excellent quotes. And I'm sure you guys hear that and you see that. We'll have Tommy today. Tommy will give us all kinds of stuff. All of those guys do. So they kind of make up for the non-answers that we get from Kevin. But I think he has been trying to say, look, we're bringing him along at a certain pace, and we are sticking to our plan.
So how do you think Sunday's going to go for him?
I think it's going to go well in some spots, and I think there will be some mistakes. My whole thing with Shedeur for this Sunday is that I think he's going to have to play within himself and not try to be legendary in this game, not try to do too much and prove to the world that he should have been taken in the first round or that he should be the Browns starting quarterback for the next 100 years. He's got to try to just manage the game to the best of his ability and not try to go nuts out there, because that's when he's going to run into problems. That's when he's going to press. That's when he's going to retreat and revert to some bad behaviors. So they have to find a number of things that he can do well and feel good about. And even if that involves getting some of his hungry dog guys a little bit more involved, so be it. He's got to feel confident in what he's doing. I think he'll find completions because he throws a beautiful ball. I've been telling you guys that since day one. The thing that I always see from him is ball placement. It's uncanny for a rookie. He can just, lightly lift it over the head of a linebacker. I mean, he can vary the ball speed, the arm angles, and he can place it where he wants it to go in a way that the receiver can catch it pretty easily. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. That takes a long time usually to learn in the NFL, and he brings that naturally. And I think that, therefore, when he gets down into the red zone and the end zone, that he should be able to throw some touchdown passes.
What do you think it'll be like, Mary Kay, if Myles Garrett sets the sack record this season on one of the worst teams in football?
I think he is going to set that sack record, absolutely 100%. There's almost no doubt in my mind that he's going to set that sack record, and I think the Browns will probably help see to it that he does. And there are certain ways that you can go about moving him around and making sure that he has favorable matchups. So that's one great thing that they're going to be able to take out of this season. And I think he should also win NFL Defensive Player of the Year, even though they're in a losing season. I don't think they should take that away from him and penalize him, because it's actually harder to get these sacks when they're playing from behind a lot and when they're not cooking out there in the third and fourth quarter. So I think it's been a tremendous season, the best I've ever seen from him. I've always thought that there was more in the tank for Myles Garrett, and that he was leaving a little bit of meat on the bone out there each season, just because you see the incredible physical talent. And I think this year he's leaving it all out there.
So I have to do some weird housekeeping with you. What is the situation with Deshaun? What do they have to do? Do they have to open up a window? When? What is it? They didn't open it up this week, the practice window. What's going on there?
Okay, so just to clarify this, they do not have any kind of a deadline for opening up the 21-day practice window, designating him for return from reserve PUP. They don't have any deadline for that. They can do that, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. My feeling right now is that in a perfect world, they would probably wait until the off season to put him out on the practice field. And be careful with the fact that this is a revision of an Achilles, and there really probably isn't a great reason to try to throw him into a football game on only 3 weeks of practice when he's been out for so incredibly long. So I think they would probably like to bring him back slowly in OTAs and minicamp and not rush him into anything this year. Now, having said that, there might be a world in which they decide, let's open up the window, throw him out on the practice field, and see what he can do. And I know he would love that. He would absolutely love that. He feels ready to go. But I think that they're going to be very, very careful with him. And he will be on the team next year. He will definitely be on the team next year.
He's not going to get cut over the summer?
No. Nope. He will be here. There are too many cap considerations for him to get cut or anything like that. He will be around.
All right, Mary Kay, we thank you very much for the time. All the very best to you and yours.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Is that bad news?
I think she's just giving you, because of the contract, a dose of the reality that maybe we've tried to avoid all year. Because for us, it's been out of sight, out of mind.